most of them come into this, I knew how to do this last year. I come in, whoa, this has changed, right? So, but once we get a chance to have a conversation with them, work with them.
This is Joe Martin, Executive Director, Texas High School Coaches Association. Thank you for joining us today on our podcast. Before we get started, a few updates regarding the spring of 2025. Just reminding you that our 25-26 THSCA membership is available to you on our website. And encourage you to sign up as soon as possible, and don't forget your liability insurance as you do that. Also, coaching school tuition is available on our website currently, and you can go to into the portal. You can go to our website and be able to sign up and get your tuition to coaching school, which will be in San Antonio. The Hall of Honor is July the 19th, and coaching school runs July 20 through 22, with a regional meeting being on July the 21st on that Monday, and our general meeting the 22nd. And just reminding you that those two meetings are not the same, and we encourage you to attend both of those meetings, along with the 250 to 270 hours of professional development. We look forward to seeing you at coaching school. The sooner you sign up, the cheaper it is. And providing that you have membership going into coaching school, you'll be set and ready to go coming out of coaching school for the new school year 25-26. As you know, the 89th legislative session started in January. A lot of updates on our website, a lot of things that potentially can impact you, us, all of our coaches and athletics across the state of Texas. So stay tuned to our website. We will be involving updates through SportsU and sending legislative updates as we need you as this session grows beyond vouchers and the UIL bills that are out there. We will be fighting for you in our profession, and we need your help. So stay tuned. When we can get information to you, please respond as soon as possible. Have a great day. This is going to be a great podcast.
Hey coaches, did you know we're now offering shows for all sports? That's right. Whether it's basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, football, soccer, you name it, we've got you covered. If you're looking for a way to showcase your program, promote your players, and highlight the amazing things happening with your team, our coaches shows are the perfect solution. Plus, our business model lets you or your booster club raise money while building excitement and support for your program. Don't miss the opportunity to take your team's story to the next level. Find out how you can get your very own coaches show. Reach out to Chris at 713-269-4620 today. That's 713-269-4620, because every team deserves the spotlight. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Coaches Call. Let me say that correctly. I'm Chris Doelle, and I have, three of my best friends here. You know, it's going to be awesome, but I'm going to hand over the hosting duties to Libby Pacheco, the Texas High School Coaches Association Executive Foundation COO. That's a mouthful.
It is. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you once again for everything you do for us and for the association. And I'm joined by two really, really special guests, and I'm going to introduce them in a little bit. But overall, today's episode, we're going to be talking about the THSCA job board. That's powered by MyCoachingTree. I know it's one of the most valuable benefits that we have as an association. All of our coaches have access to that. It's unique to our coaches. It's the relationship with the MyCoachingTree is unique. We get questions about MyCoachingTree all the time and how it works. And so I think today's episode hopefully will kind of clear up some of the questions that some of our coaches might have. Everybody digests information differently, right? So this hopefully will be another opportunity for us to answer some of those questions about the platform, what exactly is there a cost? How do we get help? Like, why are there so many changes? Like, be able to answer all of those questions for our coaches and hear from the experts and the people who started it and evolved it. So speaking of those experts, I'm going to introduce our two guests, Coach DW Rutledge, former executive director of THSCA, and Philip Engel, the CEO of MyCoachingTree. Coach Rutledge, Coach Philip, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Pleasure.
Well, we're just going to dive right into it. Coach Rutledge, you definitely don't need a whole lot of introduction to our coaches. And again, we all know the legacy that you have within Texas. But I'm hoping maybe you can get us started by telling us just the history of THSCA and the job board, and what did it used to look like, and how did this partnership with how did MyCoachingTree come to be?
I would be happy to try to answer that. I first took over as executive director of the association in 2001, I think. 2003 was when I took over as executive director. We needed a lot of help with technology when I first took it over, and Philip came to the office one day and was telling me what he did, and he wanted to learn more about high school athletics and whether he could help us with that. And he was wanting to know, to learn about high school football, and I wanted to learn about technology, and so we've been working together for almost 25 years now, and he's been a great partner for us. He's done so much for the Texas High School Coaches Association, and I appreciate him for that. But when it first started, you can imagine we didn't have really a job board. We didn't have hardly anything technology wise, and we used to find our jobs when through the athletic salespeople and like Oshman's and those things, and as those sales reps would come around, they would have a list of jobs that were open, and we would sit down and go through that list, and they'd take that along with them every school that they went to. That's how they knew the jobs that were open and the jobs that were filled, and it kind of worked that way. And so as we got in there and Philip got to looking at it, he kind of built the job board for us and started bringing around. We had a little bit on our computer, but it was just not very much as far as technology is concerned. And so Philip really took over that and really did a great job for us. Not only in that, but a lot of other things technology-wise that he helped the association with.
Yeah.
Philip, what's your recollection of those early days and how?
Yeah. So I've been a software entrepreneur my entire career, and I had started and run and sold a business for about 10 years prior to meeting Coach Rutledge that was in the employment industry. So I was starting this business that had nothing to do with employment in athletics. And I wanted to, my attitude is always when I start a business and I enter a community, I feel like I need to be a responsible member of that community. So I wanted to do what I could to help the association out, and they needed a membership system. So I helped them with a membership system, and they were battling legislation. So I put together tools to help them battle that. And I'd been in the employment industry. I heard these crazy stories from Coach Rutledge about the sales reps sounded like they were almost extorting, holding the list of jobs back from coaches unless they bought from them. But however that came about, it was a crazy story, really inefficient. So I just developed a really simple job board for them that I just donated to the Coach Association. And they used that job board until about 2018 when they could not use it anymore.
Awesome. Well, I remember it's so I remember those early days of even whenever I was coaching and looking for jobs, and it has evolved a lot, even just what it looked like originally. Again, we have listeners right now that have been coaching for over 25 years. So they've been through every single piece of that evolution of the job board. And we have coaches right now that are listening that they're in their first year of coaching, so they don't know any difference. So they don't understand how everything evolved. But can you talk about those evolutions? What has prompted the changes from that original job board that you had?
Sure. So in 2018, I mentioned, for reasons I won't go into, that old job board had to come down. It had to go away. And that was about the time we started discussing this concept of MyCoachingTree. And our mission from the very beginning was to help coaches take more of a big picture approach to their careers instead of just looking at their coaching job as a job. We need our coaches to stay in the profession. There's so much in our society and our culture that depends on that. So over the years, we have introduced features that pushed or nudged coaches in that direction of looking at this as a career and a profession instead of just a job. So we've done some of that on our own initiative. But other than that, every modification we made to the job board, either for job seekers or for employers, has been the direct result of feedback we got from those groups. We don't have a dog in this hunt. We don't have an agenda to push other than getting coaches to take a bigger view of their profession. It's in our best interest to make this job board be as convenient as possible for the largest group of both job seekers and employers.
You may have a great point. There are two groups that use the job board. It's both the seekers and the employers who are looking to fill some jobs, and they both take on very unique roles and have unique reasons for using your job board. But can you give me? And I think our coaches sometimes don't understand the feedback that we're able to have and to be able to give you, and how responsive you are to that feedback. You just rolled out a new version of MyCoachingTree pretty recently. Can you give us a specific example of something that you've changed in this last rollout that came directly from feedback from coaches?
Sure. Yeah, I can give you a couple of examples. There are a lot of them because it was a big upgrade. The most frequent suggestions we received from coaches that we wanted to address were about the complexity of the job board. It did a lot, but it was just difficult to use. And there were so we put a lot of effort into really simplifying how the job board worked. There were other suggestions that would come from coaches. One of the most common we heard was they wanted the ability to store multiple resumes, because they didn't always use the same resume to apply for different jobs. So we accommodated that as well. On the employer side, universally, employers wanted it to be easier when they had a staff change for staff that needed to post jobs, or when they open a new school. And there are so many people moving to Texas. There are new schools opening up all over the state every year. Both of those things previously required a MyCoachingTree staff member to get involved to fix that for them. And every year about this time, it created this massive logjam of customer support issues as our team scrambled to fix those issues, take care of those issues for employers. This change puts all of that in the hands of the employers. They can do everything. We're happy to do it for them, but we put the power to do that in their hands. And we hope in this coming job season, it'll be easy enough for employers to do where they can take control of that themselves moving forward. So those are just a couple of examples.
Yeah, I think again, y'all have been very responsive to our conversations and the feedback that we get. Especially as we go around, it's one of the topics that comes up almost every conversation we have with coaches, and so we know it's valuable for them, and we just appreciate you guys being receptive to that feedback. So this is job season. It is that we are right in the middle of it. Where coaches are looking for jobs, seeking jobs, and then employers are looking to find people. So if you are not in the coaching profession, it's sometimes hard to understand how coaches look for jobs. I've
Right.
only been a coach, so I couldn't even imagine what it would look like if I was to go get like a civilian job, like a job outside of education, because I've only used a job board. So can you talk to me, why is it important that THSCA offers this coach centered platform rather than relying on things like Indeed or district websites?
Yeah, this is a great question. So only coaching jobs can be posted on my coaching tree. So we've got a kind of a strict process we go through with both employers and with job seekers, right, to ensure that this platform is exclusively or at least predominantly coaches and people looking to hire coaches. So with that, employers love this because the verification process we go through to make sure only coaches can even see these jobs represents an initial level of screening or vetting by those employers. That saves them a lot of money and allows them to fill those jobs much faster. For coaches, they can have the confidence that they come in and all the jobs out there are coaching jobs. We did add a feature this year. We're just kind of toying with it. We've done a lot with artificial intelligence this year, and we have an AI robot that is going to Indeed and some other sites, and it's scraping the jobs off of those sites to try to find jobs that it thinks are coaching jobs, and post them in a special section of the board where we clearly represent these are just jobs that are out on the web, right? Sometimes they're hit or miss, but we keep teaching that AI robot how to get better and better at finding those jobs out there. But we wanted to give coaches the ability to see those jobs that were on Indeed.
That's That's really good. Again, it's just the cutting edge technology that y'all are using and being able to incorporate that all for the purpose of serving our coaches and for something that's better for our coaches and their employers, those athletic directors. I wasn't aware of that AI feature, so that's really pretty cool. Because a lot of school districts themselves, they may not understand MyCoachingTree and how valuable it is to post something directly that impacts coaches and reaches coaches.
Yeah.
Um, so I know our coaches, especially if you're an employer, let's just say you're the athletic director on a campus athletics director. You might have two different logins, correct? Or two different ways to access the job board. Either as an employer who's looking to fill maybe an assistant job on your campus, and then maybe you yourself are looking for other jobs. Can you give us, from your perspective, what are some of the common problems that coaches run into when using the job board, maybe from both of those different perspectives, as both the employer looking to fill jobs and then an employee looking to find a job?
Sure. So I'll start up by saying this upgrade we released in January, in late January. The mission we had over the past year with this job board upgrade was to address every problem that had been presented to us by employers and job seekers, every request. And we didn't completely exhaust the list. There's always stuff on the list, but certainly the vast majority of the ones that were represented to us multiple times. So we've addressed the most common problems from last year with that upgrade, but there are always more challenges that come with any kind of change, right? So hopefully, kind of like you've mentioned a couple of times earlier, hopefully the coaches in Texas, they can have confidence that in the 22 years now that I've been helping coaches in Texas find jobs, I have always listened to their feedback and I've always made an effort to make it better. Um, I get a lot of phone calls from coaches that don't always need or want me to do anything. They just want to voice their displeasure about change, and that's okay. I'm here for them, and as a team, we try to do everything we can to accommodate them. There are probably 1,000 coaches in this state that have my mobile number, and I always take their calls. Right, they leave me a voicemail. I get back to them right away. They're texting me, but in keeping with how great things are in the state of Texas, the point I want to make to coaches and employers is there is no resource like this anywhere in the world that is just for coaches, not at any level, not at the professional level. We recently started doing some work in the college level in a few other states, but until this past year, Texas was it. Texas high schools were the only space in the world that had a resource that was only focused on helping coaches with their careers and getting them jobs. I just think that's a great testament to how great coaching is in the state of Texas, you know?
Absolutely. We think Texas coaches are the best, and the resources that they have available to them, definitely they don't understand it until it's gone, or until they go somewhere else, or they hear from coaches in other states. And sometimes that's the light bulb that has to go off before they can recognize what a great tool this is. And you know what?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just another point to that, to emphasize that, is last year, 87% of all school districts in the state posted their coaching job through this job board. I mean, that's as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, that's incredible to have that a larger percentage of your market use this product. I mean, I think that's a real testament to the need that we're filling.
And you know what? The 87% of those coaches and those athletic directors, those hiring managers, as they are logging in this year and seeing that things are a little bit different, sometimes that change, that evolution, it is hard to take.
Definitely.
And it's hard to manage. And it's not just in this realm, it's probably anywhere. Change is difficult. So, and kind of sticking with that, what are some of those questions, those text messages, those phone calls that you're getting from coaches? Are there like common problems, common things that you're seeing come across your desk, across your phone, maybe that you could just blanket say, hey, this is frequently asked question, this is the solution for it?
Sure. Yeah, there are a couple of things that really come to mind, and most of them have to do with the change. I will say that in all but a couple of examples, there's confusion over the change. I understand how busy coaches are, and looking for a job, posting a job, not their favorite thing to do, not mission critical to them, but has to be done, right? So most of them come into this. I knew how to do this last year. I come in, whoa, this has changed, right? So, but once we get a chance to have a conversation with them, work with them, 90% or more of the cases, they're like, oh, okay, this is different, but I see why you did this. I like this, right? It's easier to use, right? We get some, I like this feature from last year better, and we're taking those suggestions to incorporate into future upgrades. But those are the lion's share of the questions I'm getting on the cell phone right now, and our customer service team are getting. One major issue that comes up a lot, mostly from coaches, is the use of featured jobs. We used to have a term we used in the old system we called job credits, and job credit was a way to use our AI recruiter to go out and look for coaches to apply for your job, and it highlighted your job on the board. Well, now we've shifted that terminology to call those featured jobs. And one of the things, there are a number of employers that do pay a fee for additional services from us. And those employers, they want preferential treatment for their featured jobs. And that was one of the biggest requests we got, in fact, from those employers. So we are prominently featuring those featured jobs in every job search that's made. And that's been a source of confusion for the coaches that were accustomed to the way the job board worked in the past. When they do their job search, they see these featured jobs appear first on the top of the list before they see a list of all the rest of the jobs. And that's created some confusion. So.
But again, it's an evolution. It's a change that employers have asked for, and it's it's an additional piece, something that you can add on to your current service that you get. And so let's speak about exactly what coaches get. Kind of going along that same lines. Are there any fees for coaches to use the system? You just talked about those featured jobs, but what do our member coaches get actually?
No, there are no fees for coaches. There are things that coaches can buy if they wish through MyCoachingTree. If you're going to buy CoachTube videos, please buy them through MyCoachingTree. That helps support our efforts moving forward. If there are podcasts that you watch or listen to, please get there through MyCoachingTree. That helps us help support our mission. But I've been in the employment industry for most of my career. I believe it is categorically unethical to charge a job seeker to look for a job, except in really extreme cases, right? There is no fee for a coach to access the job board and apply to jobs. There will never be a fee for coaches to access the job board and look for jobs. They have to pass our verification process. They have to prove in some way that they're a coach. One of the easiest ways is to join their coach association, which they should do anyway, right? And by virtue of that membership, they get access to the job board. But no fees.
And that was one of the changes that I think initially, whenever everybody's logging in this year, that they're seeing, if they haven't logged in for a year, that they have to go through that verification process, which includes one extra step maybe that they're not used to, but well worth it to go through that to get set up with the new system. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's 4 simple questions, or there's another process where you can enter your THSCA ID and our system will real time verify you.
So that's from a job seeker point of view. What about the different levels of service that you provide for employers? Can you kind of talk through those different things?
Yeah, I sure can. So I mentioned the job credits earlier and kind of the shift. We haven't changed the pricing. We've just changed some of the terms. So first I'll say, through this longstanding 22-year relationship I've had with THSCA, any athletic director or coordinator that has an active membership in THSCA, they can get a free, what we call professional subscription for their school district. And with a professional subscription, they can post an unlimited number of jobs for free. No one else in the world. We're in 20 something countries around the world now, all 50 states, or coaches in all 50 states. No one else in the world has this benefit except THSCA members. The districts here in Texas are the only ones in the world that have the ability to post jobs for free. So that being said, we do offer services to help employers above and beyond just those free job postings. And that's through what we call our featured jobs. The pricing and the concepts are the same. If you were familiar with the old job credit process we had, we just call it featured jobs now. So the school districts that post featured jobs, a featured job is highlighted. It's presented at the top of the list of every search that it applies to. And our AI recruiter matches their job with coaches that are currently looking for a job and individually invites each one of those coaches to come apply for their job. We've been doing this. We were doing this in a proof of concept as early as 2018. And the average is a job that gets posted as a featured job gets 6 times the number of applicants as a job that's just posted for free. So if you're an AD that's curious about this, you're not sure it's worth it, for $100, you can post one job as a featured job and you can see the results for yourself.
Excellent. I do want to reiterate because it is that part has always caused a little bit of confusion with our athletic directors. And just want to reiterate, it is still a free service for them to post a job.
Absolutely.
And we are the only state, the only job board that gives that and allows that service to happen for free. I think that it's important. If you're a THSCA member, it will always be part of your member benefits. And again, we know that just because of the amount of conversations we have about the job board, that it's also one of the most valuable member benefits. So
I'm a native Texan. I've worked with coaches for 22 years. The reason I continue business after business working with coaches is because I have so much respect for what coaches do and the impact they have on our society. So that free subscription for employers, that's a way for me to give back, show my appreciation to what they do.
Well, again, we have a wide variety, and Coach Rutledge, you talked about this at the very beginning where there are just some people, some coaches, athletic directors out there that aren't comfortable with technology. And so if they run into problems with a job board, maybe they're getting frustrated with it, navigating it, not getting the help they need from an email that they send to your help desk. What can they do to kind of alleviate some of that frustration? Where can they get help?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for that. So I'll say right off, I'm going to start and finish my answer with the same thing. In the bottom right-hand corner of every screen of the job board, there's a little bubble for our chat tool. That is the fastest way to get an answer to a question or to get a problem resolved. Our entire team of different customer service people all monitor they live and die by that chat tool every single day. We also have another AI robot, a different AI robot there that is helping answer questions as it can. And when it can't answer the question, it kicks it to one of the human members of our team. I know there are a lot of coaches out there that are not comfortable with technology that want to talk to somebody on the phone. Here's the problem with that. If one of our customer service staff pick up the phone and talk to that coach for 10 minutes, they can only deal with that one coach. In that same 10-minute period of time, through the chat tool, they could deal with 20 or 30 coaches, right? It's just not realistic for us to have a phone call number that coaches can call into. And I want to make another comment. I mean, through our relationship with THSCA, it's so awesome that you guys field those phone calls for us. But coaches that are listening, I want to tell you that merely slows down the amount of time it takes for us to get back to you, because what inevitably happens is the THSCA staff takes as much information as they can. They pass it to our customer service staff that most times has to reach back out to you to gain information. That slows the whole process down, and it slows down the resolution of your individual solution. I really appreciate the THSCA staff taking those calls, and I really appreciate your willingness to keep doing it. But coaches, if you got a problem you want to get done fast, please go through the chat tool.
Yeah, good thoughts. Good suggestion with that. And you mentioned it earlier, there are thousands of coaches out there that do have your personal number. So maybe y'all reach out to them and offer to take them out for dinner or something to get Philip's personal number. Maybe that's another way you can get that. We're wrapping up really quick. Are there any other changes or anything else in the future that you guys are working on that you might want to share with our coaches?
I do. I'm going to speak for a minute, not just about the job board, but about the profession in general, because it relates to what we're releasing. So, most of the problems of the coaching world today, I think most coaches out there would agree, at least the more seasoned, experienced coaches, most of those problems stem from changes in our culture that make finding a mentor more difficult. And I can't give enough kudos to THSCA for the ROC program. I've had some exposure to other mentorship programs, but the ROC program is amazing. I've met many of the mentors and the mentees that go through that program, and those young coaches are definitely the leaders of tomorrow in this profession. I think we run about 100 coaches through that program, if memory serves. We're currently losing about 6,000 coaches a year in the state of Texas. And I've talked to the Coach Association staff. I've talked to the Thornton McFerrin Coaching Academy staff that engineered that ROC program originally about ways when we can take just the tiniest bit of what we do in the ROC program and spread it across the masses. So every coach has aspect of some portion of that. I'm not recommending that we try to do away with every coach having a human mentor. That absolutely needs to happen. That is the long-term solution. But most coaches, mentors and mentees, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to have one of those types of relationships. So we have been beta testing something for the past 4 months that we're going to release next month. It is an AI mentor. It is a chatbot embedded in MyCoachingTree that is intended to help fill some of the knowledge gap that mostly younger coaches face. We originally designed this just to give career advice, but the coaches that are beta testing it keep pushing the limits of it. So it keeps expanding its knowledge base. They're asking questions that deal with conflict resolution with players and parents and fans and officials and administrators, how to deal with those situations or political situations in their local communities. They've also asked it questions to do research on strategy and tactics for their specific sport. And the coaches, the feedback we've gotten from coaches that have used it in our beta tests, they've just been amazed at what it will do. It's writing speeches for their awards banquet. It's writing letters that go out to parents. It's giving them a bullet point by bullet point way to deal with a parent that's upset because their child's not getting enough playing time. I mean, the things they're doing with it are just quite frankly amazing. It's going to be released in May, as close to the 1st of May as we can. And when it comes out, like almost everything else we provide to coaches, it will be free. So if coaches will just download the app, they'll have access to it, and they could join the beta program right now if they wanted to, if they download the app and they get into it. So,
well, I'm looking forward to hearing about how that works and how that's going, and what a great tool. And also a quick call to actions for our coaches, or especially those who have been around since the inception of MyCoachingTree and the job board. Those that have been around for 25 years, 30 years, and seen all of this, is reach out to those younger coaches on your campus and start spreading your knowledge and be willing to be mentors to them, because we need you. Again, we're doing the best we can. It was a small little group, but we need everybody in there to be rowing the same boat so we can get out of this these problems that we have. Philip, Coach Rutledge, I appreciate you guys so much for joining us. I think this is going to clear up a lot of things for our coaches. You know what? One tip I did want to add in here that our office staff usually give out, is to make sure that coaches are using a personal email address instead of their school email address, especially if they're job seekers, because not knowing where they may end up in the next year and not being able to lose that service and all those things. So that was one tip that our office wanted to pass along for sure.
yeah, thank you for that.
Well, Chris, thanks for letting us come on and discuss the My Coaching Tree job board and our relationship and THSCA's relationship with them.
You bet. Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Philip. And of course, DW, thank you for all you've done and are doing. I've been able to see the evolution of My Coaching Tree from day one and have played with the AI. It is amazing. It is a wonderful tool that coaches need to have in their back pocket at all times. Again, thank you, Libby, and thank you for tuning in and listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for this opportunity. Coaches, download the My Coaching Tree app on your phone.
Hey, of course, I want to thank our guest, but I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for giving me what I consider the most valuable thing you can give, your time and your attention. And I know you don't do it to hear me. You do it for the great messages provided by the THSCA. And hey, if you'd like to associate your company with the THSCA and the Coach's Call podcast, limited sponsorship opportunities are available. You can reach out to me, Chris Doelle, 713-269-4620, or head over to my website, freshmediaworks.com. Once again, thank you so much for supporting Texas high school coaches. Please share this show out to everybody you can so that we can help share these important messages. Thanks again, and we'll catch you next time on The Coach's Call. The interviews in this show are brought to you by the Texas High School Coaches Association. THSCA provides to its more than 26,000 members access to the people, events, tools, and resources to help them thrive in the profession, become trusted leaders in their communities, and live balanced and successful lives. The work and sacrifice coaches do every day is vital to the development and success of student athletes. The THSCA supports these efforts. We fight for every coach, provide them with the connections and resources to improve their lives, and help all student athletes throughout the state enjoy lasting success. The mission statement is simply this: to help and serve Texas high school coaches as they work to help and serve student athletes. Helping coaches help kids. For more information on the THSCA, visit www.thsca.com.